And I'll recognize the honourable member for for Colchester, Muquodoboit Valley.
I was speaking, Mr. Speaker, with not just a rhetorical sense, but with a very precise sense when I say that it is an exceptional life privilege to be able to offer some words in response to the speech from the throne offered by the first social democratic government in the history of our region. And I say that this is a privilege and one for which I am honored, but it's also something that I approach with a certain amount of trepidation, because I am a minister of the United Church, and as a minister of the United Church for a long time, I have addressed many different configurations of congregations, and I have addressed dozens and dozens of configurations of not always very well disciplined Sunday schools, but I don't ever remember turning to address quite this responsive of a congregation. But in doing so, I want to direct our attention to thinking for a few moments about the significance of this moment in our province's history in which this particular speech from the throne has been received. And in order to do this, I would like to draw the attention of all the members to a particular installation here in this chamber. It's an installation which speaks with special relevance to the constituency of Colchester, Muquodoboit Valley, which I represent. And that is the installation here on our west wall, which has been placed by the National Historic Sites and Monuments Board in recognition of the 1847 election, the 1848 inauguration of the first responsible government in the history of British North America. The tablet, which is just here behind the members for Hammonds Plains, Upper Sackville, and Cumberland North, reads as follows: "The first Executive Council, chosen exclusively from the party having a majority of the representative branch of a colonial legislature, was formed in Nova Scotia on the 2nd February 1848, following a vote of want of confidence in the preceding council. James Uniacke, who had moved the resolution, became Attorney General and leader of the government. Joseph Howe, the long-time campaigner for this peaceable revolution, became Provincial Secretary." It is not an adequately recognized or acknowledged dimension of our province's history that in that historic election of 1847, which resulted in that historic inauguration of 1848, Joseph Howe was elected as a member for a rural constituency. He was elected as a member for rural Halifax County in the riding that is now a part of Colchester, Muquodoboit Valley. I want to just give a little bit of the background to how it was that this took place. After years of very difficult, often frustrating, and wearing campaigning for responsible government, in the 1840s, Joseph Howe, reading a little between the lines of his biographers, had come to a point in his personal life where something of his own personal equanimity had come a little bit into question. And so in the mid-late 1840s, he accepted an offer from his great friend and colleague, William Annand, who incidentally was the first post-Confederation Premier of Nova Scotia, he accepted an offer from his colleague William Annand, who with his brother owned a farm near the border of Colchester and Halifax counties in Upper Muquodoboit, to come and spend some time and live and work there. Howe accepted that offer, and that's why when that historic moment took place in 1847, Howe was returned to the House as a rural member, and that's why the great triumphant moment, one of the great moments in the democratic history of our province, when the great procession took place recognizing that responsible democratic government had been achieved, that was a procession that went from the community of Elderbank to the community of Middle Muquodoboit, and from there to the place where Joseph Howe laid down his head that night in Upper Muquodoboit, all in Colchester, Muquodoboit Valley. And so with that as a bit of background, I want to take what seemed to me key words from the speech from the throne, where the events of June 9th are referred to as a decisive and historic decision. And I want to put before the House, in addressing the speech of the throne, from the throne, just this thought, that there are a number of dimensions of the decisive